Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you so much for checking out another brand new episode. Today's features Rachel Is Kozi. I caught up with singer-songwriters Rachel and Nick from Rachel Is Kozi to talk about their brand new album, LIFECYCLES, that's now available on your favorite streaming platforms and on CD copy at any of their upcoming shows. And we get into some stories behind these songs, play a couple of live acoustic ones, and just had a great time getting to know a little bit more about them. Catch them live at Blueberry Hill Duck Room on August 3rd with friends of the show, Crystal Lady. Grab those tickets today and come out and have a good time. You're going to hear all about it on today's episode. Hope you dig it. I do want to remind you, as always, Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Friendship Brewing Company in Wentzville, Missouri, serving up all your craft beer needs. Come on by this weekend, grab some cold beers and some burgers and nachos, flatbread pizzas and pretzels and all kinds of tasty eats over there. And you can catch some great live music on the patio from Fireside Duo Friday, July 26th, and on Saturday night, July 27th, way back weekend, and on Sunday, July 28th, Josh Littig will be out there 1 to 4. And, they opened up the Flint Hill location a bit ago, calling it Friendship Brewing Company Fly High, an all-new dining experience out of the Fly High kitchen. Serving up some tasty pizzas now. You can come out and get their deep dish pan pizza and all kinds of other tasty eats over there, along with the same great beer. And on Friday, July 26th, you can catch Robbie Burt out there. Saturday, July 27th, James Birtles. You can find their full beer menu, concert calendar, food menu, and much more at friendshipbrewingcompany.com. You can also swing in and grab some packs to go. You can grab a shirt. A lot of different ways to support and let everybody know your favorite craft beer around town. And if you need anything else, you can follow along on Facebook and Instagram for more info. If you need anything else, you can always find me, rockpaperpodcast.com. Hit me up on the socials. Email me at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy a brand new episode with Rachel Is Kozi.
Podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel.
And I'm Nick.
We're Rachel Is Kozi, and you are listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with Rachel Is Kozi. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. I say we go ahead and before we get rolling too far and properly introduce everybody so they recognize your voices and maybe what you play in the band.
Sure. Well, my name's Rachel Kaczynski. I play guitar, sing, and write the songs.
I'm Nick Monty. I play trumpet.
Nice. Yeah, this is cool. I mean, I start most of them this way lately, which is always fun. I mean, I'm glad that the show, we kind of talked off mic. I've been doing this for a while, and now we just hit 10 years a little while ago, and still continuing to meet new people, making music in our town, and that's the case today. It's our first time hanging out. We just recently, became friendly online, and then we were like, well, let's make this happen. So we're here today doing it, and I'm glad that this show continues to do that. It's like it's fun to continue and meet new artists in town, and so like I said, I don't know a lot about either of you yet. That's what's fun about this, to get a chance to sit down and get to know more. I did listen to the record and had a lot of fun with that, and we'll get into that. But I guess take me back a bit. You are either of you actually from St. Louis, or both of you?
Yeah, I grew up in Belleville.
All right, nice.
Mm-hmm. And I came here for college. I went to SIUE just across the river. And that's how Nick and I met and became best friends. In fact, our bass player, Adam, who plays with us live, Adam Sinclair, another SIUE friend, Clinton Twombly and Ben Cohen, who are on the record on drums and bass, respectively.
Sure.
They are SIUE friends. So a lot of SIUE friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I had no idea, but it's funny how many times SIUE comes up when talking music around town. Like there's a lot of really, a lot of great players that went to school there and studied, music and stuff, and or maybe not necessarily music, but went to school there and stuff. So anyway, It's just like it's come up a lot more than I think any other local school. So, it's nice to, something's going on over there. That's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I know when we were going over there was a lot of like the DIY culture, a lot of house shows and stuff like that. It's always happening.
Yeah, it was a tight little community that we're still friends with so many of these people that we were friends with back in the DIY days.
Yeah. So you, so where was home before school then?
I've kind of been a little all over. I was born and raised in like the Cleveland, Ohio area, more specifically like the Canton, Massillon area. Spent maybe half my childhood there. And then we moved to Central Illinois, Peoria specifically, and spent the rest of it there. But was kind of moving around a lot. I think St. Louis at this point is the place I've spent the most time in my life. And so this is home for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And was it, just school and then you liked it and you stuck around, or was it like your family moved here with you, or?
Yeah, so it's just my chosen family here with me in St. Louis. And that was kind of the magic of the friends that we formed from those days. And I think that's the magic of the St. Louis music scene in general, is it's very tight knit, and something that Nick and I and all of our friends who play believe in is that there's enough room for all of us. We're stronger together and we can help build each other up.
Yeah.
And that's part of the magic.
I fully agree. Like there's a lot, there are times I feel like where it does get sometimes competitive, like where people, it is a solo sport for a lot of people kind of thing, where it's like they look out for number one, but there are pockets of the scene that really, they do a great job of supporting each other, can booking all their friends on different shows, and that's like, it's very much a community in what way it should be, and like we are stronger together than by ourselves and stuff. So it's cool when you see that kind of stuff, and when you find that group that you fit in with, and you're like, these are my people, and I'm fortunate enough. I've found several of those groups around town, and I love that. We're going and walking to a room and just get surrounded by buddies and high fives and hugs all around and all this stuff, and it's really a cool feeling. It just makes you feel good. So, but yeah, I'm glad that the St. Louis music community is so welcoming in that sense. So
yeah, that's definitely been our experience.
yeah. So you both met at school then, you said, right? And how long did it take before you found out you both play and you wanted to start making music together?
It was pretty immediate.
Yeah.
When I met her, she was playing a guitar.
Yeah, I used it as my pickup line for friends.
Right.
I would sit on the back patio of the dorm building and play guitar because somebody's going to come up and want to see it and then play it themselves and start a conversation. And so that's how the two of us met.
Yeah.
Yep, I was back there playing guitar.
And where did guitar find you? Like, I mean, was this something you've been playing for a long time, or is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing since I was 12 or 13, I think. I've always been kind of a creative person. Like, I've always really valued self-expression. It's something I've always wanted to do. And I started out playing piano from a really young age, maybe 3 or 4, and violin soon after that. But it was always more classical stuff. When I got guitar, it suddenly became apparent I can play whatever I want that I'm hearing on the radio even. And it was very cathartic for me. And that's kind of why it stuck, is music has become this art form you can inject so much of your humanity, your emotion, whatever into. And it's just very seamless for me. That in that way is a very easy way to self-express. And that's kind of how guitar and I found each other.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Nick? When did trumpet?
Well, when I was really young, for whatever reason, I really wanted to play violin. I was always just like, ever since I was real little, I was like, man, I just want to play some violin. And school band rolls around, they didn't offer violin, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll try out this hunk of metal. I was 9, so I've been playing trumpet for 21 years now. And yeah, it's my favorite thing.
Yeah. I think it was like 6th grade for us. They offered band. I don't know. I told the story a bunch, I think, over the years, but it's just like, it just made me laugh. Like, I really had no idea what I was doing. I just put a bunch of my buddies had signed up. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try. I'll try to learn something new. And I picked cornet because why not? Something. And I gave it a try. I was not very good. I struggled. And it wasn't something that came, supernatural to me. And I remember, like, at our school, it was like a either PE or band kind of thing. We couldn't something like that. It was like that particular year for the way the scheduling was. And so he's like, band teacher said something along the lines like, yeah, well, you can either you're going to try really hard, or you can go back to PE. And I was like, all right, I'll see you later. I'm like, it was just, for me, being my size and everything else, like sports came way easier for basketball, football. I was played a lot of sports growing up. So anyway, just so it was an easy out. But like, I do kind of regret that I didn't find something. I mean, maybe if it wasn't cornet, it was, find whatever it was that didn't work for me. But I've told that story before. Some of my friends that are, established musicians are like, yeah, you had a bad band teacher. Like, that's, you shouldn't have even, he should have worked with you or helped you find, like, wherever it is you did belong, kind of thing. But sports worked out for me too. But at the same time, I do regret now. I wish I would have had some of that knowledge. I wish I could play a little bit of guitar and I'm a huge fan of songwriters, and I wish I kind of would have had that guitar and helped me to try to find my own voice. And not that it's too late, but it just like, there's these things that I'm like, man, I'm just kind of get a little envious or jealous, wishing like I could do some of that kind of stuff. But maybe one of these days I'll make it happen. So
it's never too late to start.
Yeah. I mean, I talk about it a bunch. I mean, people are probably sick of hearing it, but I say it, and I'm like, more I say it on here to hold myself accountable. So
it's going on the record.
Yeah, right. So
it's easier now than ever with YouTube, man.
Yeah.
You can learn how to do anything on YouTube.
I always thought it'd be cool to play harmonica. Like that's one I like. Also, the fact that you can kind of like just carry around a briefcase, you know, and like set it's light, easy setup, you know, this kind of thing. Like, so
well, that's deceptive because
Right.
I play trumpet, you know, just little box,
All right.
easy setup. I always end up having a free hand to carry a drum or an amp, man.
Or the PA.
Yeah, maybe that's maybe not the move. I shouldn't advertise that, I guess, huh?
A heavier
Right,
instrument.
yeah, right, yeah.
It's the world's heaviest harmonica.
It's all right. My hands are full. Yeah. Well, you so things worked out. We started making some music together. What do you think? How long did it take, you think, before you wrote a song together?
Great question. So Nick was a part of the Chicago music scene for a while. And I was kind of on my own writing songs, kind of like what you were talking about with the self-expression stuff with like music and everything. For me, when I'm ready to put something into a song, it's the moment of closure for a lot of things in my life. And sometimes it continues on, but at least there's something specific that I'm finding closure in. And I was starting to come to those terms with a few things, and I was starting to bring some songs together. And it was like peak pandemic time. And height of pandemic, Nick ended up moving back to St. Louis. And I was getting ready to go. I was getting ready to have all of my material for when everything opened back up. And that was kind of when we started. I started throwing my songs Nick's way, being like, what do you hear on this? And starting to collaborate on different sounds and the way they could go.
Yeah.
So like probably 2021 was when that started happening.
So that's kind of the early framework for what became the album then?
Mm-hmm.
Some of those early ideas like that?
Yeah, the album was basically just that sort of a process. We made really great friends with Ian Cunningham. He plays a few different instruments, keys, bass, but he's also a great producer and had a home studio. We started getting together and learning about how we wanted the songs to sound on a record and just throwing stuff to him, throwing stuff to other people and saying, what do you hear on this? What do you want to create on this? I have a framework, but I try to kind of not be too attached to anything because I trust the people I'm going to throw my songs to treat them with like respect.
Right.
And they're also masters of their craft. So they're going to bring something to the table that makes it better than what I could have done on my own. And it was just this beautiful collaboration of all of these people kind of coming together, and we ended up with what we got.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I love that about all my talented friends around town too. Like when I, make posters or whatever, anything, I'm just like, hey, do what you do. Like, this is your expertise. Like maybe I might give you some kind of guide to spark the ideas or something kind of hint of something. But I love like just trusting my friends to like, this is why I asked you to do it. Like
Right.
I want you to do. So, but yeah, that's cool. Like, and you got those players to join you. So we got the debut album, Life Cycles, now readily available on all your streaming platforms. I guess I noticed that the first single came out in January of 23, and then the record followed in April of 24. So I guess let's start with a track. Let's start with an album one that we did. We want to share, and we wanted to highlight some of these players that we mentioned. And let's start. You want to start with Free?
Sure.
Yeah. What comes to mind when you think about Free? Is there a particular story or even recording wise moment or anything that comes to?
Yeah, sure. So I love nature. Nature is really important to me. I spent a lot of time out in nature when I need to get clear on things and kind of start coming to that closure point. So I end up writing a lot in nature. Free was written when I was hiking the Appalachian Trail in the Smokies. And it was kind of in the middle of the pandemic, I guess, kind of getting close to what was going to end up being the end. And after this long, hard slog that I think a lot of us would rather not remember, I was starting to have hope again. I did something I'd always wanted to do. I backpacked the Appalachian Trail. I was getting all of this music together. Things were starting to look good again, you know? And I'm laying there in my hammock and this giant wind comes rushing through the valley. And it was just so exciting. It was the biggest like blast of wind I think I've ever been sucked into, I guess. And it just made me feel so alive on top of how I was already feeling. And that's what I ended up writing Free about. And it was super fun to bring in, you know, Clinton and Ben to play on that song. And of course, Nick. And it was just ended up being like this really happy, triumphant kind of song. And when we play live with Adam Sinclair and Michael Cortina on drums. It's just so much fun. It's so much fun to like get the crowd going and get everybody feeling that kind of that joy and that excitement.
Yeah. But I had a buddy come on, Dean Justice, and he also hiked the trail and brought a ukulele with him. He plays a lot of uke on his songs, and he was sharing some pretty interesting stories about making, you know, friends along the way on the trail and all these things like that. And, but yeah, it was pretty fascinating to hear his story. But do you, I mean, other than, what inspired Free, but is there a wild night or, a particular moment that really, sticks out besides the wind on the trail? Is there, or,
this is a really good question. Yeah, there was, I think one of the coolest things, and I guess it's like a hidden gem on Build Life Beautiful, which is another track on the record. I was getting close to coming off the trail and I was going to need to get picked up by a driver and then get taken to the airport. And when you're in the backcountry, obviously there's no showers. You smell very humid. Sure. And I was like, I need to take care of this now. And I'm coming down off the mountain. And there was this waterfall. And it was the coolest thing ever. I got to just take a shower in an actual waterfall. Nice, yeah. It was amazing. It was one of those things that you only get to do when you have the luxury of being like the only human in several square miles of wilderness. All right. But yeah, it was one of those beautiful moments where I felt it happened right before Free, actually. And I write a little bit about that in Build Life Beautiful. And I think it was one of those moments that kind of inspired Free. I was like, wow, my life is starting to get cool that I have these exciting things to celebrate in my life. I got to have this unique experience of getting to take a shower outside.
Yeah.
I'm on the edge of spring, inside of me I'm listening. There's something carried on the breeze, that makes me think I might be free. The valley fills and shakes the trees. It's roaring, overwhelming. It's like the air is energized. I think I'm gonna like my life. The winds of change are flowing through. I'm not afraid, just let me loose. Not even in an empty room. Seated at the center, it's just me and volume. Eyes for vacancy, daring me send out my view. This is who I am and where I wanna be. Already had the answer and I have all I need. It wasn't what I thought I'd hear. And now I have to fight back tears. It's 'cause I finally figured out, oh, that anything can happen now. It doesn't make a difference to me. I kinda wanna let them see my animal humanity. Feel my abandon expand till there is no more room. There's no such thing as nothing, just watch what I can do. This is who I am and where I wanna be. Already had the answer and I have all I need. I can have it all, and 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 I can have it.
My wife just shared some Facebook post about like 5 or 6, whatever it was, Missouri waterfalls that like around some of these different parks and stuff. And now she wants to go see them and all that. And I'm like, oh yeah, you love bugs. Yeah. You love being, out. So she loves nature. She likes being out, but she hates the bugs. She doesn't want to go camping and all these things. And I'm like, well, of course they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You can't, we can't really, really make you could do some stuff day out, make a day of it, go to visit a park. But, a lot of the really cool stuff, you got to hike a little while to get there and all the other things like that. You can't just drive a car up to the waterfall. And
Right.
a lot of
pretty
times.
remote.
Yeah. So, anyway, it just makes me laugh. I like teasing her about it, but, one of these days maybe I'll, talk her into going a little off the grid, going exploring and stuff, and get out there and see some more of the nature. And,
Yeah.
Because that sounds pretty awesome. It sounds pretty cool to get out there and just experience it and meet people and let the trail provide. And
Yep.
so
It does.
yeah. Nick, you ever do anything like that?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I like camping, but that's about
Sure.
as far as
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's fun. Like, the whole campfire sing-alongs with guitars and all that kind of that vibe and stuff. Like, it's, I like getting out there with buddies and just, hanging around the fire and at campsites and things and floating on the river and all those things. So, there were a lot of good memories doing all that stuff. But yeah, we, well, you can find, free again on all your streaming platforms, and be sure to check out the record Life Cycles. We did do a couple live acoustic ones that I thought turned out real nice. And let's talk about Protect My Peace. You two performed this one, like I said, live here in the living room. And anything come to mind around this one?
Yeah, so it's funny that you bring up Protect My Peace second, because that's my other trail song.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I wrote that song actually on the Ozark Trail, which it's a through hike you can do here in Missouri. And that is talk about clear your head. That was a really important song, I think, for me to write. I was going through a lot of really tough decisions that I was needing to make. It was kind of, I guess, what you could call like a really cleansing time. And I think that that's important. I think it's important to make really tough decisions, but it's really hard. And if you are going to make a tough decision, in my opinion, you should go out in a place where you feel like you can think clearly. So for me, it's backpacking. It's backpacking. It's doing a yoga practice, something like that, And I was out on the trail. And at the time when I was actually thinking through was I was in a romantic relationship that spanned several years. And personally, I'm not quick to walk away from people because I value relationships. It's a really hard thing to have to sit there and think to yourself, am I going to cut ties with somebody? And so I got out on the trail and I was really thinking it through. And ultimately, what I ended up seeing was that my life was so much smaller because I was with this person. Sometimes not every person is right for you, And that was kind of the case with this person. This person needed me to be smaller, and was always kind of like, if anybody's been in an emotionally abusive relationship, you understand that sometimes that person is going to be kind of pushing you down in order to make themselves feel better or whatever. Who knows? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I didn't want to have a small life anymore. I wanted to be able to live the fullest life that I could, be that backpacking or teaching yoga or writing music and being able to play music out and all of these different things. And it's a hard decision to make because it's scary to have to say goodbye and walk away from all of that. But I decided that doing the brave thing meant more to me in order to protect that peace that I wanted to have. And so I got out on the trail and I thought it all through, and I realized I ended up writing a song at the same time. Yeah. But it's one of those things that it was so hard and heart-wrenching and difficult to do. But I'm at the same time very proud of myself for doing something that hard for my good and trusting that it was going to ultimately be okay. And it did. I ended up making the right decision.
Yeah.
I don't need to be saved. And I cannot be small. I'm free and I'm wild and I'm part of it all. protect my peace. Constant forward motion till I catch my stride. Out here in the open, there's nowhere to hide. And I want to see it all, the good and the bad, no matter the cost. Know that I'll be fine, 'cause you aren't meant to stay in my life at all. There's too much good in this world to see. I won't be censoring me, and I was never too shy at saying goodbye. I'd rather protect my peace. I'd rather protect my peace. I cannot be small. I'm free and I'm wild and I'm part of it all. Now it all seems clear that nothing matters but what's right here. There's too much good in this world to see. I won't be censoring me, and I was never too shy at saying goodbye. I'd rather protect my peace. There's too much good in this world to be. I won't be censoring me, and I was never too shy at saying goodbye. I'd rather protect my peace. I'd rather protect my peace.
Saying you're writing it out there, like, is this something like you're hiking around and you got this melody on a loop, or is it like where you kind of thinking of ideas and then like at the end of the night you lay down to, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here, these are the words, finally it's coming to me? Or how, like, what is your process like when you're out there like that?
That's a great question. Sometimes it starts off with me just sitting in my bedroom with my guitar and just noodling around until something starts to stick. And it's like this intuitive emotional thing where I'm like, something feels really cathartic about playing this melody or these chords or this riff or whatever. And that ends up sticking in my head. And then the words kind of start to come together. Mm-hmm. And I'll have different moments, like I finish a yoga practice, or I'm sitting in meditation, or I'm on the trail, and different words will start to come to me, and I'll just kind of start compiling them into a writing dump, kind of a journal. And I'll go back and I'll keep visiting these words and saying, okay, what message is coming out of all of these words? And honestly, if anybody has a creative process out there like this is a really healing thing just for me personally to do, because you end up kind of seeing what you truly feel and think about stuff. And if you're brave enough, because it is hard, if you can turn it into a song to share it with other people, it ends up being this really powerful thing, because you end up writing about something that probably a lot of people can relate with, even if it's not a specific a specific sort of scenario. Like for me, I usually don't tell the story about where Protect My Peace actually came from in the scenario I was walking through at that time. But somebody can relate to, I would rather choose my peace and my happiness than this difficult thing that I'm going through. And I love that because music can really connect. We were just talking about this, but something that Nick always says is music heals more than it hurts. And when you get people together in a room and you're playing something that kind of speaks to that deeper human experience, it can be a really beautiful thing.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot there. Like, I just feel like I love as a fan when I connect to those words.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was like, oh, Rachel's telling my story. You know, it's like, or whatever it is. You know, it's like you might not like, and sometimes like I feel, I don't know. It's hard to really say. There's no right or wrong. There's no rules. There's nothing. You know, but sometimes stories can take away from it because sometimes like it's vague enough. I've created my own story, you know, and it's like, and then, you know, but then sometimes somebody will tell a story and you're like, oh, well, I love that's for you. And that this song means that to you. And that, and I connect to it in a different way now. But so it's weird, like how songs, you know, you put the words out there and you're like, once they're like out and you've shared that with everybody, then it's open to interpretation and stuff. Unless it's like a, you know, one of those storytelling songs that lays it all out, you know, like, oh, this is exactly how it is and stuff, but I like when they're open enough to where I can apply myself into that or, you know, connect to it in whichever way I relate to that story. So, yeah. But anyway, it's interesting how words and music will do that to you, like how, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's what makes me think like, I don't write. This is my therapy, you know, doing this show, talking to my friends and stuff. I wish, but I do, like I said, songwriting is a goal of mine. And I think it would be therapeutic and cathartic for me to put some of that stuff out into a song and see where it goes. And
oh yeah, for sure.
But seems like it's, you know, helps you quite a bit. Like it's definitely, you know, your writing process, you know, go work through different situations in life. So, and I mean, if you hear from a lot of artists, that's why they do it and stuff. So,
yeah, I think I've been my as far as art is concerned, I think people should be allowed to make art for themselves first. I was just watching something the other day where, you know, art is meant to be true to the vision. Keep it true to the vision. You know, we kind of lose the specialness of art and the goal of art when we're trying to appeal to like the masses, so to speak. I think that if you're being true to what you want to do and true to yourself and true to the art form, there are going to be people who connect with it. And that's the important thing. Yeah. You know, you'll find your people. And yeah.
You mentioned a couple times about like yoga. And that's the first thing that kind of came to mind, like especially with the opening being mantra. Like I just felt a lot of this music on this record is very peaceful, relaxing, and I could see being part of yoga or you know, massage or whatever, you know, these different kind of just very relaxing and peaceful music. So there's whatever you would, you know, find, but I feel like it's therapeutic in a sense, even just that, just like it's decompress and just kind of relax to some of these songs. And not saying there are more upbeat ones on this record, but I felt like a lot of them there's a couple of them that for sure that just for me, like I kind of zoned out and I just like get lost listening to it and just kind of, it's just, like I said, it's very peaceful to me. So,
oh, thank you.
But was that part of, I mean, obviously you practice. So was that part of when you're thinking of what my record's going to sound like, was was yoga and and these kind of things part of the vision for it?
Oh yeah.
These sounds.
Yeah. I'm a yoga teacher, so it's in me.
All right.
So it's gonna come through. Like Mantra, which is the first track, like you said. It's a self-affirmation that I used to say to myself over and over and over again. And so the chorus is that exact same self-affirmation that I just made for myself and turned it into a song. Soham, which is the fourth track. Soham is a Sanskrit mantra that translates in English loosely to mean I am. And when I was in my teacher training, that was the first mantra that was given to me, and it kind of inspired this song that I wrote, and how I was starting to realize that is such a powerful statement in and of itself. Just I am, period. You don't have to add anything to the end of that sentence to make yourself be qualified or more special or anything. You're already special just as you are. You're enough just as you are. And that was a very cool lesson to kind of start to sink in for me. And I wrote that song there. The album, when you listen to it front to back, there's 8 tracks, and each of the 8 tracks corresponds with a different season or a midsection between a season, which is kind of cool. And Mantra starts you off in the fall. And then by the time you finish the record, the last track is Home. You're kind of at the point where summer is ending again, and you're starting the wheel of the year, so to speak, all over again. And
that's one of the first lyrics too, right?
Yeah, summer is ending.
Right. You mentioned Home. This is another one we did live acoustic. This is just Rachel on a guitar right here in the living room. This is one on the record I listened to it on the drive down, and one that just immediately spoke to me as the one that I immediately turned it on again and put it on repeat and played it a second time. So I don't know. It's I said very relaxing and peaceful. It's just something about the simplicity of it all, like the beautiful lyrics over a beautiful melody, and it just works really well. And but you were telling me this one is pretty close to home for you, obviously, and pardon the play.
Yeah, very close to home. Yeah, I wrote Home. It's about grief. It's about saying goodbye to lots of different things. You can grieve about losing relationships, losing different seasons in your life, seeing different parts of yourself that you were used to seeing, not seeing those parts of yourself as much anymore because life changes and we change with it. It was about that kind of a grief. And I wrote it a few years ago and started playing it out and kind of learning about that and walking that path of grief. And I'm glad that I put the song out. Like, we put it out as an acoustic demo with Soham as an acoustic demo in 2023. And I'm really glad that I did that because it was a song that my mom got to listen to quite a lot. She passed away about a year ago, this time last year. And I'm so glad that she got to enjoy that song because she ended up passing, like I said. And it ended up being a song that means so much more to me than it was even when I wrote it, because it's something that I got to connect with my mom. And then I had to kind of deepen that walk and learn even more about grief and how to survive. And it's a song that I dedicate to her every single time. And at the same time, it makes me so much more grateful for the music than I ever was before. She passed away, and we played a show at Venice Cafe maybe only a couple weeks after that. And there was a part of me that was like, I don't know how I can play any shows after this. But there was another part of me that was like, I have to do this. I have to do this for myself. I have to do this for my mom. Because I think that music does heal more than it hurts. It does heal to be able to play. It does heal to continue to be able to create, to continue to be yourself in the world and surrounded with the people that care about you, your community. You know, we were talking about how wonderful the St. Louis music community is. And it ended up being one of the more sentimental shows for me, because so many people came up after, and this happens at our shows all the time. People will come up afterwards and share about how they've lost somebody that they love, and they're having this healing moment. You know, they're crying and they're, you know, so grateful for seeing that in somebody else. And I'm so grateful for the music and everything that we've been able to do because of what it's created around us and that I've gotten to give back to, you know?
Yeah. I'm glad you were able to share it with Mom and you have that. And it is kind of a crazy thing too, like about lyrics that you may have wrote some words for a particular scenario, and how, you know, you revisit sometime later and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this fits exactly right here. You know, it's like, you know, these now hit it even harder. You know, it's like, it's for me, there's a song that, man, it just like wrecked me for first time I heard, you know, it's not my song, but I, Follow You to Virgie was a Tyler Childers song, that like I'd listened to a bunch of his stuff, but that song came on after my mom passed, and I'm like, you know, I just lost it. I was like, these are like, it's just crazy how much those lyrics to, you know, I felt represented what we had in our lives. You know, there's lyrics like he says, like, you know, she was there in the corner of the room while we were trying to make sense of these strings and stuff. And I was like, my mom was always at all of our songwriter showcase that I was telling you about, and things like that. We, you know, when all of my buddies and we're trying to figure this thing out and stuff. So there's a lot of parallels in those lyrics to my personal life and stuff. So, so anyway, it's just, but again, like the first time I'm like, oh, that's a great song. And then it's all of a sudden it's like, you know, oh God, you know, it's like really hits right in the heart and stuff. So,
yeah.
But I'm glad that we had that moment though, and then you get to, you know, at least share her memory in these songs, and then, like I said, every night when you get to sing these songs to people. So yeah, we'll turn it up loud, and this is Home, live acoustic in the living room.
Summer is ending. I smell it on the breeze. I can't hold it any longer. The earth will go to sleep. Places I've seen, people I've been, the way things used to be, and the people that I've loved, never mind to keep. And even if you travel far, home will find you where you are. It's safe to sleep under the stars. Home will keep you warm. keep growing, but where I'm going I don't know. Expectations will betray me, and change will help me grow. Oh, so changing with the seasons, staying present where there's hope. And even if you travel far, home will find you where you are. It's safe to sleep under the stars. Home will keep you warm. And even if you lose your way, home will find you in that place. It's safe to stay, light up your face. Home is in your heart. And there's so much I can't control around me, and it feels almost as though I can't breathe. This was never mine to hold, but there's still a part of me I keep. Oh, and even if you travel far, home will find you where you are. It's safe to sleep under the stars. Home will keep you warm. And even if you lose your way, home will find you in that place. It's safe to say, light up your face. Home is in your heart. Home is in your heart.
You can find the album version on your streaming platform of choice, wherever you get your music at. You can find more from Rachel Is Kozi on your social media, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. You got a couple of videos out there, you said. So, we touched on some live shows, and we have a big one coming up that you can come sing along when. And you will be at the Duck Room on Del Mar there, Blueberry Hill, August 3rd, and bring along special guest Crystal Lady, friends of the show. So that'll be a really cool night.
Yeah. Super excited.
Yeah. So you said this would be your debut there at the Duck Room?
Yeah, our first headliner. So very excited to have our first one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great space. I really, and I'm glad to see how much they are doing to support locals. There's a lot of great St. Louis talent coming through there, and they bring in national touring acts all the time too. But there's definitely been a lot of great shows support having locals on them. So it's great to see, and more hopefully continues to be a great room to give people an opportunity to do. Legend's been on that stage, so it's cool to stand there and sit in the same green room as Chuck Berry and everything else. So it's like it's pretty wild to think about some of that. So
Totally.
and then I just you walk around Blueberry Hill and you see I'm blanking on his name now. I hate when I do that. I go to reference something. That's when I blink. But the guy that owns it, all that down there, it'll come to me as soon as we get done. Call in if you're listening. And but the owner takes all pictures with all these different celebrities over the years, and they're all over the wall. And
Was that Joe?
Joe, yeah.
Joe Edwards.
Yeah, Joe Edwards.
Yeah.
There it is. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. It's all over the back of the pageant too. He's got it. He likes getting his pictures with everybody. So but it's just fun to see that people before you that, it's like, oh my gosh, they were here, and just kind of neat.
Yeah, totally.
It'd be a special evening. Grab your tickets. You can avoid the fees by getting them at the box office. They are also on Ticketmaster if you want to support that. Or I'm sure you can pay at the door when we, but don't want to risk selling out. We grab your tickets in advance and join us on August 3rd at the Duck Room at Blueberry Hill. I guess you're saying that you guys pretty much focus on originals when you're set. Do you get to play through most of the record, or are you working on some newer songs that for next record, or what goes into a Rachel Is Kozi set? What?
Yeah, so we stick a lot to originals. We do throw some covers in there. I've been on a little bit of a Stevie Nicks kick because I saw her in concert. So we've been doing some Stevie covers.
Is she a big one? Besides right now, have you always is that something you grew up with?
Yeah. Always loved. I grew up listening to Rumors.
Yeah.
By Fleetwood Mac. I love that record. Legendary record. If you come out to the Duck Room show, super secret, you might get to hear some of the new songs that are coming on the record.
All right.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. How about you, Nick? What was big influence for you in the trumpet? What's some stuff you grew up listening to?
Oh man, Miles Davis, the hometown hero, man. He's one of my favorites. I really like. Yeah, I love Miles Davis.
Yeah. Is that more of your lane of choice, jazzy or?
Yeah, that's where I got my start. Really, I really. That's where I became really serious about music. Was I found jazz. I heard someone play jazz for the first time, and I went blocking everything else out for a long time. I was just focused solely on jazz. But then my last year of high school, that's when I started really branching out and really, I was in a ska band. And then I was jamming with my metalhead buddies. Yeah. I was like, hey, can we try to add trumpet, see what happens?
Sure.
Hang out with the rappers. Hey, let me try to lay down something for your background, for your beat or something. And I really just discovered how much I love just playing all musics in general.
Yeah. It's mentioning ska, but there seems to be a pretty solid ska resurgence happening right now.
There's a handful of bands. There's a Hot Rails band. They've been playing a lot.
Yeah. There's a newer one, Skatonics, I think, and Ska Marcella or something.
Oh, yeah, with
like,
Tommy
Yeah,
Holland.
Tommy. I don't know, but
I mean,
and it's like they all kind of, which I think I find interesting about ska is like they all kind of have they're a different generation that they like lean into. And Boss Battle also is a fun group.
yeah, those guys, Orange Tree.
Yeah, right. So, anyway, it's just I love that to see it because, like, I remember obviously I came up in with Mighty Mighty Boss Tones and stuff like that all over the radio in the 90s, and like, it was fun to see or Real Big Fish, or had ska influences with horns and stuff. So it's just fun to see that people finding their own lane and sticking out in ska music now. So
So I really just once the floodgates opened to all these genres I could play, that's when I was just like, I want to just stick trumpet in everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm on a mission to make trumpet cool again.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, and you mentioned hip hop, like I think it's kind of a lost thing that people. I had talking to a buddy the other day about he loves Warren G's Regulate, and I said, that's a Michael McDonald song, right? And he's like, oh no. So I played the original for him. I'm like, here's the sample, I keep forgetting. But there's all kinds of horns on those different funk records and everything else that they have since they sampled and made turn into the hip hop beat and stuff. So adding like that as a live element to somebody's record, that sounds really cool too. So but yeah, I just think I'm glad that you are open and willing to, like I said, experiment even with metal music or whatever it might be and stuff, just having fun with it. So.
I get in where I can fit in.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know. So it's fun to see people doing it, and I'm glad that it worked out for you two meeting and collaborating and continue to make cool music. Is there when does like Rachel play through the song, like the demo, and then you find where you fit in, or how do you find what you can add to it?
Yeah. So a lot of times, she'll send me like a recording, or I'll just record it on my phone at rehearsal right quick. And then I'll spend some time with it. Because of my jazz background, I do a lot of improvisation, and improvisation is really just composing in real time. So I'll just put it on repeat and just each pass I'll improvise, and I'll be like, all right, well, that worked or that didn't work. So I'll keep this, and then we'll roll the dice on this one until something goes with that other part I came up with.
Yeah. And just trial and error, huh? Just keep mixing until you find the right mix.
And it's a lot of like letting it breathe
right.
too. I think that kind of goes into like, if you're gonna play original songs, you got to be a little brave, because playing a song that's baked enough, not half baked, but like baked enough out live is gonna help it to be able to find its legs a little bit, and throwing it to your friends and being like, all right, let's see what legs this thing has, and just see where it goes.
There have been times like early on when we were playing some of these songs, and I didn't play on it because I thought maybe this song doesn't need any trumpet. And then later on added parts, or even there were some times where there were parts where I was playing and I was just like, this part does not need any trumpet, so I'm not going to play this anymore. Well,
I like to hear that too, because like you we did home, and I'm like, I think you guys made the right call, like on the putting it on the record just as it is like that, and like it's sometimes that's enough. You don't need to clutter it up or with anything else, like, or, you know, it's simply, you know, perfect as it is with just the simplicity like that. So but I agree, you know, it's just knowing to make that call. Like sometimes people overproduce, I think sometimes, you know, it's like it gets too much.
Well,
like
you get in the studio and it's really easy. There's all the fancy bells and whistles.
Yeah.
You gotta have, I mean, that's the other thing too, is like, you gotta have people you trust, you know, like we have a song, our second track on the record is Whale Song, and it's the complete opposite of Home. It is the most produced song. And it was a song that I threw first to Ian Cunningham when we were getting together to work on production and in his studio. And then when we got into the Big Bad studio, I threw it to our other producer and our sound engineer, mastering, recording engineer. His name is CJ Alexander. And I trust him. He's a good friend of ours. I was like, hey, man, if you hear something on this and you want to produce the heck out of it, like add some layers, add some creativity, like let your flair come through. And that's kind of where I'm at, is like, yeah, I wrote this song, but I would love for the people I care about to shine on this record. And I trust both Ian and CJ with my music. And the way it came out, it's got a lot of layers, but it sounds awesome. Like it bumps in the whip.